At the beginning of the film, we are shown a handcuffed Kara, but this scene is replaced by an awakening in the room of his friend Jess. Today, the girls are going to go to the lake, which Kara informs her mother about. Jess needs time to shower before they go out to have fun, but her parents ask to water the plants in the yard. Kara takes on this responsibility. In the process of watering, a man approaches the girl. Upon learning that there are no adults in the house, he approaches the girl and presents a gun to her throat. At gunpoint, Richard makes Carla climb into the box and leaves. After taking a shower, Jess tries to find his girlfriend, but finds only a hose left on the ground. Kara, meanwhile, is trying to fight the panic. Having driven into a deserted place, a man stops and says going to cure the girl. He will tie her up and gag her, just in case resistance. He will always have a gun with him. The man leaves the girl alone in the car with the doors open. She decides to run, but gets shot right in the back. After replaying this brutal scene in her head, Kara decides to wait for another moment and fulfill the kidnapper's demands. Richard closes the girl in the container again and continues on his way. Meanwhile, worried Jess calls Kara's mom. Maybe she took her daughter urgent matters. But it's not. Deborah finds the number of Ryan, Kara's boyfriend, but he also doesn't know where his girlfriend is now. After bringing the box home, Richard frees Kara and leads her into the bedroom, on the bed of which the girl notices sexual paraphernalia. Richard sets out his rules. First, the kidnapper will always have a gun. Second, Kara must call him daddy. Third, she must do whatever Richard orders. And fourth, breaking any of these rules will result in consequences. Putting the girl on the bed, Richard begins to write down all personal Kara's information, starting with names, relatives, and their places of residence, ending with details about her sexual life. In Kara's head, all she has to do is follow the rules, wait, and survive. Deborah calls her ex-husband Ron, who has also not picked up his daughter. It is now clear that Kara has been kidnapped, but the police are in no hurry to organize a search. The police believe that the girl only did something stupid and ran away without telling anyone. After saying wait until she calls, the cop leaves. After Richard takes Kara to the shower, he starts a conversation about the girl's studies. She wants to gather as much information about her kidnapper as possible and keeps the conversation going. Then she learns that Richard graduated from high school before the rest, after which he went to the Navy, but left after 9 years of service, without waiting for his promotion. Richard leaves the room and Kara plays the escape script again, which she dies. Richard returns with a pipe, forcing the girl to inhale the drug. The kidnapper promises to let Kara go after he is done with her, but if she goes to the police, she will forever become a raped girl for others. After these words, Richard sits Kara in front of the TV and plays adult films for her. Deborah, meanwhile, calls everyone she can call. From the information they have is that a neighbor saw a black car when the girl disappeared. Evening comes, Kara asks to go to the toilet. Seeing the window in the restroom, she has hope, but the kidnapper does not allow her to close. Now Richard is cooking dinner for them and Kara is on an excuse to help, starts sweeping the kitchen, memorizing personal information about kidnapper. Richard turns to the girl and tells her to take off her shirt. Deborah directly to the sheriff. He, in turn, promises to attract his best people, but by the smile on his face it is clear that he does not believe in the abduction, but is convinced that the girl has gone somewhere with her friends. They return to TV again. Richard turns it on with the words, "Let's see if anyone cares about you." The news shows persecution. Now Richard is psychologically putting pressure on the girl, claiming that no one loves her and perhaps they didn't even notice her disappearance. Then he grabs the girl and takes her to the bedroom. Richard needs to make a call, so he gagged Kara and put her back in the container. The girl begins a severe panic attack. She loses control over her breathing and is practically left without access to oxygen. Richard takes out she is gagged and tells her to be quiet. After making the call, the kidnapper praises Kara for her obedience, after which he gives her a pill. It's time to go to bed. In the bathroom, the girl loses another failed escape attempt. Richard chains Kara to the bed and with the words, "Tomorrow we have important things to do," go to bed next to her. The girl wakes up before her captor, so she sets about her release. She manages to unfasten the carabine and free her legs, after which Kara silently leaves the house. Feeling the taste of freedom, the girl rushes away from her kidnapper. On the road she stops the car asking take her to the police station, where talks about his kidnapping. She explains that the men forcibly kidnapped and raped the girl several times under the threat of murder. 18 hours have passed since the abduction and all this time she was at his house. She did not remember the specific address, as well as those who gave her a lift, but Kara is going to get justice at any cost. Therefore, pulling himself together, he goes with the cops in search of an apartment. Everything in the area seems to be the same, so they decide to check with one of the locals. Thanks to details about the kidnapper's apartment, the men can remember a similar description number. The police officer contacts dispatcher, sending a monitoring group to the apartment 301. The ace takes Kara to the station near Deborah. Not seeing any activity in the room, the cops decide to go inside. One of the policemen finds similarities with Kara's description, realizing that this is the same apartment, but the kidnapper is not in it. At the identification, the girl names her offender. She also names everything she remembers about Richard, down to his dentist and the doctor's personal number. Kara tells the cops to check the box under the parrot cage. Richard did not want Kara saw it, so there's obviously something important in there. In it, the cops find clothes and newspaper clippings about the missing girls. The search for the kidnapper is in full swing, but Richard's trail has been lost. Raising the archives of incidents from newspaper clippings, the sheriff finds out that the maniac already has a lot on his account victims. Richard kidnaps the girls right from the doorstep, after which he keeps them locked up for several days, and after playing enough, he drowns in his bathroom and throws them into the swamp. Copper is visited by her friend and boyfriend, but the girl is depressed, so she asks her mother to go home, but there is no rest for her. The house is full of police, everyone is worried, but not Kara. It seems that morally she has already returned to her former life, so the behavior of those around her haunts her. The police contact Richard's wife and it becomes clear that she did not even know the person with whom she had lived all these years. The only adequate person in the environment Richard turns out to be his sister. Learning about what happened, she reports that suspected mental illness brother and reports that the previous day he checked in under her name at the hotel. After why didn't he get in touch with her? While seeing her friend off, Kara meets with the sheriff. He, like everyone around, reports that it is dangerous for her to leave the house until the criminal is caught. So you can do it, Kara said. That she is now at home, the merit is exclusively of the girl herself, and how she should act, to speak clearly not to those who were inactive. In Richard's room they don't have time to catch him again. It looks like someone from his family told him that they were coming for him. Another policeman comes up to Kara, but he did not come to say that she was injured, but to notice that she was a survivor due to her own efforts. She managed to save her own life. Moreover, after capturing criminal, it will prevent him from further crimes. Policeman manages to detect Richard's call. They believe that he is on his way to meet his second sister, contacting whom it becomes clear that Richard has appointed her meeting in a cafe. In the evening, Kara is going to baseball with her friend, as they usually did, but Deborah is in no hurry to let her daughter go, claiming that it is too dangerous. This is where Kara breaks down. All her confidence and steadfastness is a defensive reaction. Girl just tries to live on, as it was before, as if deleting these fatal 18 hours from memory. She can't let Richard take her normal life, along with her innocence. While in position, the police notice the criminal and start the pursuit, driving him into a corner. Richard takes out a gun and, afraid of the consequences for the crimes committed, commits suicide, and Kara enthusiastically watches her boyfriend play. The next morning, Deborah cooks breakfast for her daughter. Satisfaction is read on the woman's face, which Kara notices. Only now the girl finds out that yesterday Richard committed suicide. Frustrated, she runs out into the backyard. Here the sheriff approaches her, to whom the girl opens up. She is very angry with her kidnapper. All these days she has been waiting for the capture of the criminal. Kara wanted to meet the judges with him and tell him everything she remembered, so that looking at her, Richard would understand that he had made the worst mistake of his life and went to rot in prison for many years. This was supposed to be Kara's release. The policeman makes it clear that the criminal clearly regretted what he had done, and Kara continues to live her normal life.